Hey marketers, and welcome to another marketing tutorial. This time I'm looking at Thrive Leads and WPForms, which is a form processor. You may recall, if you've been following my channel or my blog, that I did a video previously on integrating Thrive Leads with Gravity Forms. This is going to be a similar video, but this time with the popular WPForms plugin, which is just another really well-known and popular form processor that a lot of you might use. The goal of this video is to kind of outline and show you how you can use Thrive Leads and its graphic interface drag and drop builder, as well as Thrive Architect and all of its native functions, while still integrating with WPForms. That way it's a lot easier to make a form, integrate it with everything that you're doing in Thrive Architect, while still having it fulfill all of the function and native abilities of WPForms. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. So what I have here is just a blank form. I created it really quickly. I created a name, an email, a phone, and a paragraph text. This might be a normal contact form that you see on a Contact Us page, or just some kind of lead generating form that you have on any page. And these fields don't really matter. They can be just about anything. But for the sake of this, let's just run at these fields. What I did on this form is I made the name and the email required, and then I left phone and paragraph text, and this can be message. I left that alone. And on each of the fields, I went in and under advanced options, I labeled it, whatever I wanted the field to be called, like name and email, phone, etc. The reason I did that, as you're going to see in a second, it helps us save a lot of time in Thrive Leads or Thrive Architect. So now let's go ahead and jump into a Thrive Leads or Thrive Architect page and put this form on there. But the first thing you're going to want to do is just make sure you save the form, close out of the processor, and then find the form that you did. And this part's important because this is how we integrate. What you'll want to do is click Preview, and then right-click anywhere on the form and click Inspect. And then down here in the Inspect field, you're going to want to find where it says Form Method. Right-click on that, go to Copy, and then Copy Element. Okay, so now let's go into a page. I'm opening up a WPForm test page that I created to show you how this works. We still have that WPForm inspect field copied, and I'm going to just input down here a lead generation form, and I'm just going to put that right onto my page. Again, you could be doing this in the native Thrive Leads editor. This time around I'm doing it in the Thrive Architect builder. What we want to do is on the left hand side with our lead generation selected, we want to click Connect Form to Service. Now I have the MailChimp API already done, but I don't want to do an API. Instead, I want to switch to HTML integration. And in here it says insert your code. What you want to do is paste that in. And it looks kind of jumbled, but don't worry, the system interprets it nicely. But before you hit continue, I want you to right here, I'm highlighting it where it says action equals. I want you to take everything between the equals, or the quotation rather, excuse me, everything between the quotations after action equals, and delete it. That way you have just action equals quotation quotation, and then hit continue. The reason we're doing that is for validation errors, and you're going to see in just a minute. So remember I said the placeholder text. Notice now we have name, email, phone, and how can we help. Those are the placeholders that we just updated in WPForms. Now, you may take a look at this and notice a few things are off, like I did. Sometimes the HTML doesn't copy quite perfectly, but we can fix that. Just click here on the left, Edit Form Elements, and then click on each of the fields that we want to edit. For example, this phone text looks a little bit too small, and sure enough, it's 13.3 pixels. We just want to update that to be 16 like everything else. You may also notice that the name field has a little bit too much of a margin or a padding. I think it's a margin in this case, so we'll just reduce that to 0, and that looks a little more in line with everything else. So once I'm happy with this, I'm just going to go ahead and hit Save and Close, and then I'm going to save my page. Now what I can do is I can hit Preview, and let's do some tests. So we can put our name in, and let's leave the email field blank to make sure form validation is working. Let's enter a phone number here, and then a little message. Let's hit submit and see what happens. See, there you go. Please fill out this field. That's a form field validation that we fixed by removing everything between the quotation marks under action. If you had left what we deleted, this would have actually not worked. It would have either reloaded the page or taken you to the preview page that we were on. So just save yourself a lot of time and go ahead and delete what's between the quotation marks after action equals. And I'll include a little bit more details on that in the write-up on my blog. But let's go ahead and fill this in. And then just hit submit. You'll notice that the page automatically redirects to the thank you page that I had set up by default, and everything works perfectly. Now, if I want to see if my entry went into my form testing, we just used blank form, I'll click on entries. You're going to see a few previous tests, but there it is. My entry from today is available for us to see right here within my WPForms entries. So there you have it. That's pretty easy. That's how you integrate Thrive leads with WPForms. If you have any questions about how to do this integration, please feel free to visit my blog. There will be a link to this post directly below in the description. Feel free to ask any questions and I'll help guide you along the process of getting everything all up and running. Thanks for watching.